Hi guys, welcome to this setup. I started with this ISO. It's the XS version. I'm up to date. I rebooted, it's all working. I have Git, I have Paru available, so I'm all up to date. Topic of the video. This is the Carli SSD. Carli is the customized ArcoLinux ISO. It's documented on arcolinuxiso.com. And from time to time we get these releases of archiso, and this is the last version that's on GitHub. We can have a check and just push to the GitHub, test push, and if nothing happens, let me type in my password. Voila, out of picture, but yes, update. There's nothing to update at this point in time, but now we have the Carli 10 that's online. At this point in time, there's a new archiso version, and if you do sudo pacman -s archiso, it's only important, this particular application, for people who want to build their own ISO, so us eventually, but also other people, because ArcoLinux B, the idea of the project there is that you build it yourself. That's what the B stands for, and it's super easy because we prepare you, and the only thing you have to do is type ./40 tab, done, and then you have your own ISO. But of course you can do some more stuff, like changing the applications, changing the packages, then the list of packages you would like to include on your ISO. You hate Firefox, don't put Firefox on your ISO, so make it a personalized ISO. That's the point of the Bs. So this is, again, like so many, a video how to go from archiso X to archiso Y. That's basically it. And I'm just gonna make this video for arcolinuxiso.com for Carli, because the same approach, the same work has to be done for ALCI, which is another idea. There the idea is to go for a arcolinux.org ISO, but install ArcoLinux with Calamares, so a graphical installer rather something black, the Archway. So that's another approach which will not have a video because it's basically the same thing I'm gonna do there. So Carli 10, what did we do? We jump from archiso 53 to archiso 54, and this video will be archiso 55 comes in. Compare and decide, make choices. It's entirely up to you. I can do it together with you, but it's your choice. How will your distribution look like? What will you include? What file system do you want? It's all entirely up to the user. And in our case in ArcoLinux, we say we want to provide ample choice, which complexes things a little bit, but gives you the freedom to do whatever you want with your system. If you want to have JFS as a file system, it works. It's gonna be fine, and so on. Okay, enough talk. I need to go to Super Shift Enter and let's get to work. User share. What I've done already, what I usually do, is keep track of all the changes. Right, so what I've made a copy of this one. This is the 51, and it's there already. So now I have to jump from these two and see what I can do, right? So that's the jump I'm gonna make. Control C, I'm gonna put him on the desktop. So that's the new version that came in, the Relang, that's the only one that interests us. And this one, AI root FS, take a look at the code and the structure and all that. Actually, this is the one, you see, but with some extra stuff we've done down the road, because this is essentially a film, a video series, episodes you watch, and then you can follow along how we started. I think almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we started with archiso, and we build up gradually everything up. With signing keys, making repositories, it's all in here, changing the look of Calamares, all that issues we have when we build Calamares configuration package builds, it's all here. So article number 7, archiso 55 comes in, means I, of course, you know already what I'm gonna say, launch super F5, launch melt, go for directory comparison, and then I'm gonna move this guy to the second screen. This is my relang, okay, to the left, and this is my archiso, which is that one, and that's what I have now. So the left one is the one from archiso 55, right? And this is the one from us, Carli 10, and then we start comparing. We don't want to know what's the same, so we can change these things and see what's the same. I want to see what's modified, what's new. That's all I want to know. This thing is normal, that's okay. These are choices we've made. We want to have a grub, we want to have text in there saying this is Carli, not saying this is ArcoLinux, saying this is Carli, and so on. So these decisions have been made already. You can watch them in the videos. So that's all good. And here the difference starts. Okay, so at this point in time, we used to call it ether. Now we're going to call it name n or end. Fine. Change is done. Check. Then the VLAN, same thing here. Name change. It can be WL something. So more choices, more freedom. And again, another one. Again, the same. A name change. So that's not quite that important for us. 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Check. Pacman init service. That's changed because we have keys and we sign it with the Carli keys. And that's the only difference basically. So the difference here is they leave out ArcoLinux, but it makes sense to keep it in as well because this line is ArcoLinux and this line is Carli. It's more educational, it's more clear what it does. So I'm gonna keep my text here. So that's always the case, right? You are free to do whatever you want. Archiso gives you an idea, and we say no, we don't want to have the host name archiso, we call it Carli, right? And that's our prerogative, we can do that. Okay, this let's quickly check, but that's still nothing changed here essentially. These are things that we do to install our systems, the Carli before and the Carli final. Some point in time I will call it during the Calamares installer. And here we have new names. So they have changed their names, and that's always difficult for melt because basically I'm just gonna copy to the right and copy to the right and copy to the right. These two need to go, but I can't delete them yet. And loader, it points now to a different name. So not to archiso, but a 1. So they've changed their names a little bit. Okay, fine. That's that. Now, immediately I'm gonna look because loader entries FE-boot. Okay. FE-boot, loader, entries. So they started numbering things, and these things are the old ones. Let's have a look. Yes, I would like to open this thing. Sublime text. I have names Carli and I have cow space. So this one is this one. Correct? And then we compare. So the name Carli needs to keep, we need to keep that. And we do like our cow space size, which means I have 4 GB to install in the live environment, which is enough to experiment and to do things while developing. And this one, compare. And here again, it's just a cow space. But I see we could have called it also here Carli. You see? So I found something to improve. We did not have prior. Voila. And save. Off you go. So this one is done and that one is done. And now we have something new, RAM. So we'll find it out what it is by booting up. It says ArcoLinux. Of course, here again I can say Carli. And if we compare these two guys with each other, I can say I would like to have a cow space for gig. Not sure if this is going to be a problem because it says copy to RAM. So at this point in time, I'm not gonna put cow space 4G in there, nor accessibility. I'm just gonna keep it the arch way here and see what this happens, because this is new. We have not done that. They have not done that. We have not done that. We need to experiment with it. Okay. Back to my choice. View, refresh. View, refresh. Okay. So the resolve, the grub, Carli, fine, mirror lists, okay, rules, all good, G wheel, scrolling down, default targets, all good. The Pacman.conf, we need to change the Pacman.conf. We know that there is a new Pacman out there, version 6, and total download can't be in. And there is one more, that's the parallel downloads. We can actually fix that right now. Why not immediately go to the computer, to the file system, to etc, fix this on the fly in this machine, which means I'm gonna be a root user for a while, and go in here, go to pacman.conf, pacman.conf, and here's a new one. So what changed? Compare, blah blah, that's out. Okay, cool. So the pack new is the latest, the newest, that's the one that is important, and all the rest can go. And here's the new line, parallel downloads equals 5. So color yes, check space yes. Okay, color yes, check space yes, and parallel downloads, let's do that as well. It's again a choice, whatever you fill in here is okay, but this is the new bit. Okay, I'm gonna keep, remember line 37 before the by default, up, Control C, got that, save it as well. So that's saved. In my own system, I went here to find out the code to my system. So to this, and there's an I Love Candy in there as well, I see. So this line, Control V, is now in here, and if you want to have the I Love Candy thing, you can do that. Save. In the meantime, you are hearing a nice song for ice cream. They're trying to sell ice cream. Just checking and double checking. I have a Sublime Text open, but not these files. No, not these files. Close all files. Close without saving. Yes. All right. Pacman.conf changed a little bit. I'm wondering if there's a second Pacman.conf because it's still in my Control C, Control V. It begins here. Yeah, and here's the I Love Candy. It's capital letters. Control V. right, Control C, save. It's a bit chaotic. As long as you know what you're doing, it's okay, right? But we're just gonna go for the version 6 for Pacman. That's what this is all about. Normally we don't do these things because, well, that doesn't happen that much, that Pacman changes. Here he is. I Love Candy is written like this with capital letters. Now he will understand it. All right. We were here, then we're finding these things. Difference is the cow space and Carli. So this was what we were doing. We're back on track. And that's the RAM. We don't know what this is. We won't add cow space to it yet. Carli, fine. Text that changes, Carli. Carli looks good as well. And the syslinux thing. And here is something new. Here is something new. So this bit needs to go behind this one. Label is Arch64 RAM. Boot the ArcoLinux. Boot the Carli. Install medium on BIOS, but allows you to install Carli or perform system maintenance. Okay, looks good, and otherwise we'll fix it later. That's the splash, that's the image, some files with it. Of course I don't have all these packages lists, that's what we created. And then we should look at this one. There we go. There's a new PV. I can't go to PAMAC since now there's the issue with Pacman 6 and PAMAC. Normally I would have a look what this is all about. So PV, let's get in there. And this is our choice. So it's a Lego box. Choose the piece you want. Do you want SDM? Write it in. Do you want Lithium? Write it in. So it's just a text. Anybody can type text and it will be included on the ISO. Simple as that. So PV, okay, PV, that's it. Fine. Now I thought there was another one as well. Pacman.conf. So we've done the progress bar, color, check space, that's all good. And the Carli repo. Here the things change. Why am I not looking at the right things? I think it changed and it's not changed. That's strange. So everything looks good. Well, no, we're June, so 21.06.1 and 0.6.1. That's clear. I'm having doubts about the fact that the computer file system, user, share, compare. I saw something. Cha. Cha, we say in French. I'm scratching my head here. All right. This one and that one should be exactly the same. And it is exactly the same. All right, then I've been over cautious. Must be that. So super F5. I go to file, open recent, and then I'm back where I was. No, I don't think I'm back where I should be. Desktop, this one. and then config, and then come on, relang open. This is where I should be, and not this one either. Oh, Eric, why are you just not doing this? Okay, no, actually, that's even another comparison. What we were doing is this one, I think. So this one is from the desktop, 51, and this one is from Carli 10. That's where we were. All the way down. Let's start from the bottom up again. Well, refresh just to be sure. Chaka. Why? I thought there was a difference in here, in these lines, and in here. I'll find it out probably later after the video. But there it is. Hard fact. It's okay. 2106. That one, fine. And then we go back up. We have this that can go. We like color, we like check space, we like pedal downloads, and we like I love candy. And we have Carli repo available. From there we get our calamares. This is still the same, just PV, or what was it, the small 2-letter word? PV, I think it was. And then these are all the packages if we want to build something else but than Plasma. And license splash. No, looking good. I guess it's time to build. And then figure out or test out what this RAM is. We have, of course, already an idea. Copy to RAM, what that might be. All right. Now the rest is all good. So, if you've done your work with ArchISO 99 in a few months, then you want to test it out. Installation scripts. I put these guys like this always. So that's Carli 10. It will be pushed to the internet, and I start building. Now I have been building packages, but there's one issue. First, I'll have to show you. I can actually change that. I've done that as well in other scripts I have. Is deleting line 66. So it won't hold at all. So if the version is not okay, everything holds and everything stops. So I've deleted that by now, and the required version is actually 55, right? So we've done our changes. Aha, another one, 6. And go back to number 40. So the correct version that we want to have as ISO is 2106, and the version that we use is 55. So here it says there's a difference between this version and that version, so hence I stop. So I've deleted that hence I stop, and I've also changed the reference. So now poof, it just goes on. And if the difference is there, it will be at least give you the message in red, hey, you have a different version, because sometimes it really doesn't matter that much. It all depends on what changes did ArchISO, or the crew of ArchISO, what changes did they make, and does it have an impact on our scripts? We don't know. I think I forgot to save here. So you can also say Ctrl-C and stop everything, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-C, start again. It will sometimes have issues if you do that, Ctrl-C, and you'll have hanging devices up here. Just reboot, and then they're gone. Now I was saying you might get errors, and maybe it's a good thing. I hope there will be errors when you build it, because there's a bunch of packages. I believe we're already at somewhere between 200 and 300 packages in ArcoLinux, right? In this is Carli, but in ArcoLinux repositories we have lots and lots and lots of software. Now I tend to build, well, I build every day new packages, and with scripts we go check what's the version on AOR, and okay, it differs, so I'm gonna build a package and I'll put it on the repo. But every month we rebuild packages for ArcoLinux, not Carli, right? And that gives errors. And the only thing you have to do is say, okay, delete these packages and get the new packages in. That's all. And as also well, what you see now here is the parallel downloads in effect. You see these 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that are instantly, well, in parallel. So that's also something that's new, I guess. But I don't think in Carli we won't see signature failure or anything like that. But again, just run it again, because Pacman will get rid of the packages and will download them. Yo, I don't know if this is fast or not. I go and check what server in the world is providing me these packages. It's gonna be Osbeck, the first one. And if you're not happy with the speed, the only thing you can do is change mirror. And there are many aliases. Just type, well, check the bash rc, the .bash rc. That's one thing. Ctrl-Alt-W, update ArcoLinux mirrors. We can't make a bigger button than that. And then you'll have new mirrors, the ones that are, well, interesting for you, where you live. This is the worldwide servers. Sometimes it depends, right? It's like traffic. It depends. Maybe I can try it out now. I say Ctrl-C, stop, download again. So now I have, these packages are coming from a different repo. Which one? From EvoVice. But you see problems with EvoVice. Okay, cool. So EvoVice, you're out. And then yes. So next up is Rackspace. Okay, Rackspace. Whoa, this is a bit faster. And clearly you can see the parallel downloads. All right, okay. So I'll keep that in mind. That's the best thing you do is, okay, remember mirror.rackspace.com. Fine. And next morning, this one will not work. You take another one. That's life. That's congestion, I suppose, traffic on the network. Almost there. I'm just keep on filming because sometimes you see these errors. So this is okay, and it's not possible on that particular Shroud system. It's a read-only file, so that's a normal message. And these will take its time. While it's doing its work, maybe we can have a look at our system. Carli build is going to build this particular file, which is init RAM file. This one, you see the numbers change? That's what it's doing. And a fallback later. That always takes time. This is not so bad. That is missing firmware. I have, I think, around 3. Yeah, I think these 3 are standard on my machine. I can install it, and so what? Nothing happens. No improvement. Nothing really. So it's, I guess, being lazy And since there are no issues, I don't install them. That's another thing that's normal. And the last one is also normal. And voila, we're building ourselves an ISO. And I'm going to see what this RAM thing is. But let's first pause the video here, because this is going to take a while. All right, it's finishing up. So what do we get? We got a folder, Carli out, and we have the previous one and the first one, which is always interesting. This is something I do, is compare one ISO with the next. Basically, because it's very simple. You use melt and you see, are there lines that are extra? So the green things. I'm not interested in the version number. So 27.21.9, so what, right? A day later, that's Arch. We got updates all the time. So I wanna scroll through it just quickly and have a look. Is there an extra green or an extra blue line? Something that's not horizontal. This is not horizontal. This is the new one we've added. PV is something we have added, and we can actually go online. ArcoLinux packages, and let's have a look. Package search. I hope we do not get too much hits because there are lots of PVs. This thing, a terminal-based tool for monitoring the progress of data through a pipeline. Right, why do we need? Don't know, but okay, fine. So that's the PV thing. And here is something more, probably a dependency for somebody, more in ITER tools. And so that's how we, step by step, piece by piece, learn more about the Lego blocks. Okay, so basically not much to look at, right? It's just, let's click here, scroll back down and close. Let's have a look. Super F7 VirtualBox is already installed. Carli 10 is loaded up, but the wrong ISO. Start. Now I must have another line somewhere. Copy to RAM. Oops, I see still it has ArcoLinux install media rather than Carli. So that's work. Let's try this one. While he's booting up, I can do my work. So go back, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. I need to go to Carli 10 again. To Arch ISO, to SysLinux. Or was it? This was AFI boot, so we're booting up. It must be this one, right? SysLinux. But I wonder which one did I change? Which one did I change? How about this guy? Okay, so Arch ISO SysLinux. So this one. And then Arch 64, boot to Carli somewhere. Okay, oops. Carli 10 running. Oh, thanks to my making it smaller, it's not full screen now. That's okay, because Control R, I want to reset anyway. So it says copy to RAM. Copy to RAM. Okay. Here it is. line 34 init RAM file is archiso syslinux. I was right, but I just missed it, I guess. Alright, RAM. Oh, here it is. Okay, Carli. Carli of what do we call it? Carli or ArcoLinux? I think we call it ArcoLinux. I see it up here. ArcoLinux, ArcoLinux, ArcoLinux. Voila. So when I push that online, that's gonna work. So that's dealt with. Let's go in here, Control F again, and copy to RAM. And it's painstakingly making changes one by one, rebuilding the ISO, checking the changes. Is it correct? Is it not correct? Did I forget something? Is there a typo, a comma, a space? It can be anything, and it's, yeah, time consuming. So if you venture your way, know what you start. So this is our Calamares. We did not rebuild it. What version do we have? The very last version. So that's cool. This is an experiment. So different choices you can have, open and so on. Shell is here by default, something selected. And this is really by default. It is there. You can't select anything, you can't change it. It's not clickable or changeable. And this is already selected but closed again. So these are just options. And these are also options. You can put everything in one module. I say, okay, have a look at audio and then go for ELISA and JUC and so on and radio tray, and you click whatever you like, or even on a bigger scale, everything from audio I want to have, everything from package managers I want to have, and so on and so on. So it's all about choices you can make these net modules. It's explained on ArcoLinux ISO.com. I do not think I have selected anything. And then we go for next, Brussels, the language, Belgian, well, the keyboard anyway. Disk, swap to file, encrypted or not encrypted, it's all possible. And here we have a difficult password, so make a longer, more difficult password so that he's happy. Do not match. Okay, again. How about this? Aha. So these two difficult passwords are the same. Log in automatically or not, up to you. Next, install, and we're off. So it's installing now its system. And then we get a problem. The source file system run archo does not exist. Would you like to paste the thing online? Well, yes, if you want to give it to Calamares, and no, if you don't want to do this. So in my system, install system won't help, Eric. So bye-bye, it is for you. Super shift enter is not a thing that works here. So I go to 30, I go to etc Calamares, modules, the unpack thing, this one. What changed? I did not change anything. So this is what I would like to do, and that is what I would like to do. Okay. So it's gonna go to run. Where's run? Run. And then archiso. And then boot MT. MNT is not there. All right. And then arch, etc., etc., is not there. Okay. Okay, archiso boot mnt arch boot. Did I change anything in ArcoLinux? Or well, I've not switched already, not yet switched to 55. So yeah. Okay. Shut down. Okay. Oh yeah. I did use the RAM thing. The RAM thingy. Let's see if it's the RAM thingy. Because that's of course is a new option. And the RAM thingy, we might better it might be a good reason to keep it and leave it out if that's the thing. All right, action. He's happy, then I'm happy. All right, so it's the RAM thing. Good that I thought about it. Let's have a look. We have the run thing. Run. Was it not in run? It was here. Yeah, it's not the same thing. You would think it's the same thing. It's not. Archiso. Was this the place you needed to go? Let's have a look again. Can I have a new window, my friend? Split is also good. So I would like to go to the Calamari setup, and inside the Calamari setup modules we have the unpack, and in the unpack it was pointing to run, and then it was pointing to run archiso, run archiso. Where is my file? Boot mnt, yeah, and then arch, and then x86 64, and there he is. So okay, I know enough. It's, well, let's maybe wait till it's fully installed and you see that it's working. But I don't have to wait. I can already go in here and make my decision that for the moment, until we figure it out, if we even want it, right? Copy the RAM thing, if we even want it, because copy to RAM, this is RAM, this live environment, I wouldn't know what the difference is, so it's for future endeavors or experiments, but for now we can just say whatever, right? Whatever, we don't need it. Which means we're gonna make decisions, which means that the syslinux thing in the archiso syslinux, we don't have this, right? Before we delete it, we check out the code, read code, and then say bye bye. So that's the one for the bias, right? So bias has no choice anymore, like that. And then there's the other one with EFI boot. Loader.conf, it's getting this thing, and this thing is 01, so it's getting that thing in, which is cool. It doesn't say anything about copy RAM, but this one is. So this one is out again, and now we build it. So we've made our decision to whatever, right? And it's entirely up to you to make these decisions of whatever. I hope we can do them together. It does have 36 gigabytes. So RAM enough, but not CPU power enough. So quickly reboot so I can build his ISO without having the burden of a virtual box running. Okay. And if everything boots, we're happy. Oops, I believe we have a visitor. So guys, that's it for me. Everything is up to date. You hear I have visitors at my door. So I'm out. Cheers.